Hello guys, I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I am doing great too. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the reasons why you should not come to Canada. By no means this is any discouragement for you to come to Canada. It is basically a continuation of the video that I made a few days back about the benefits of a Canadian PR. Well, since I made that video, I was obligated to make this one as well so that you can take an informed decision. Decision making at the end of the day is basically about circumstances, isn't it? So without wasting much of a time, let's start the video. Before that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do subscribe to the channel and do watch this video till the end. So the first thing that comes to my mind, guys, when you talk about the reasons for not coming to Canada is the job. Why do I say this? Well, the answer to that is, it is quite ironic that the two basic criterions when you apply for a PR in Canada, your work experience and your education qualification, are not considered while you apply for jobs here. Canadian work experience is something which matters a lot for the Canadian recruiters over here. I am not saying that most of the people face this. What I am saying is that a lot of people face this. So the people who are coming from home country are in the age group of 25 to 40. That basically means that people come with a work experience of maybe 3 years to about 10 to 15 years. So the people are managers, AVPs, VPs, directors in some cases, or they are in mid or senior management level in the home countries. So Canada is a very different job market, and the job dynamics, kinds of job, and the way people get job is very different from what you might have experienced in your home country. For example, in my case in India, what used to happen was, if you put your resume in some kind of a Naukri.com or Monster.com, the consultants used to pick those CVs, and on the basis of your experience, you would kind of get jobs. Most of the jobs you will get in those countries might come from that channel. While in this country, what happens is that you have to rely a lot on your networking. And since you are new to this country, networking, obviously you don't have any networks over here. It takes time to build that network, and hence the gestation period of getting the first job is even more. So guys, to conclude, if you're looking for a job quickly over here, well, there are chances that you might have to wait for a little longer, and the chances are also that you might not end up the job of your own choice and in the same industry as you were working earlier. And last but not the least, if the titles such as AVPs, VPs, etc. matter to you, then you might have to give up on them. And I don't know your circumstance, whether you will be able to do that or not. That is a choice you need to make. So the second thing that comes to my mind is the cost of living. So Canada is a very expensive country. Well, that has a lot to do with how much you earn over here, and hence it is an extension to the first point that I made about the jobs. Well, when I say it is very expensive, let me give a magnitude to it. The magnitude is that if you are coming as a family, you might require at least $2,000 a month to survive in this country. What does that mean? That basically means that if you don't have a job for a period of let's say 6 months, then you might need $12,000. $12,000 basically means a lot of money. And in the worst case, you might also have to do some survival jobs, such as the job of a driver, job of a pizza delivery or something like that, which probably you would not want to do and you would have never done in your home country. Well, it is expensive to live in Canada. So the third point that comes to my mind is driving. Since I come from an Asian country where it was a left-hand drive, and here it is a right-hand drive with a lot of different rules and regulations, it actually becomes pretty difficult for me to cope up. Well, that is just one part of the problem. Second part of the problem is that it is very expensive to buy a car, and I would say it is even more expensive to maintain that car. What that basically means, actually it is not that expensive to buy a car. You can buy a second-hand car, but the maintenance of the car is pretty high. Unlike in your home country, where you have an expense once a year of a car insurance in the level of around 10 to 20,000 per year. Here you need to pay a car insurance every month, and in the range of $200 to $300 per month, which is huge. So one, you need to learn driving, you need to spend money for that. Two, you need to get a new driving license. Three, you need to spend a lot of money to buy and maintain the car. And if you don't have a car, you're actually pretty much stuck here. In the places like Toronto and the other areas where the snow is a big problem, even going out to buy your local groceries can be a big problem on your foot. Since it's a country with a huge geography, most of the things are pretty spread out. So either you live near a grocery store or a place where probably you get everything nearby, which can be expensive, or you will actually have to buy a car for your own self, which is again an expensive deal. So the fourth point is pretty funny. Actually, it is self-reliance. So what that basically means is that you need to do every damn thing with your own hands. So just to give you an example, so I bought a sofa. I had to go and get a truck my own self. I had to drive that truck. Actually, since I can't drive, I actually had to ask somebody to drive that truck for me, who was a friend. And then we went, loaded the sofa ourselves, came back and unloaded the sofa at my house, then went and gave the truck back to the agency, paid for that truck, then came back to our own house and then assembled the sofa my own self. So basically what that means is that you have to do pretty much every damn thing, from cooking to assembling the furniture to cleaning, every damn thing by your own self. Well, to some people it might not be a big challenge, but for somebody who is coming from a place like India, where a lot of things is taken care of by the domestic help, and your mother is very gracious to actually give you food each and every day and ask you in the morning and the evening, it is going to be quite difficult for you to survive over here. So guys, the next point is taxes. Well, it might sound pretty funny to you, but there are GSTs and provincial taxes on every damn thing, which is in the range of 10 to 15%. So anything that you buy will have a tax of at least 10 to 15%. What that basically means is that the grocery, which is already very expensive, is even more expensive. And it might sound as a joke to you, but in some border areas of US and Canada, people from Canada actually hop into US to buy their grocery. By the way, it is not illegal to go to the US from Canada. As a Canadian citizen, you can actually go freely to Canada, to the US. So people actually hop into the US, buy their groceries and come, because the tax on the groceries in the US is lesser. So the next point that comes to my mind is about making a lot of money. Well, although making a lot of money is quite relative, however, this is a common misconception, and let me just bust it. Well, if you go to the US and you compare the economies and the salaries that you get in the US and in Canada, you will probably feel it your own self that in Canadian economy, you can actually not make that amount of money which you actually expect to. Because Canada is a country of great social security, good air and really good people. It is not about making a lot of money. Yes, you can obviously make a lot of money in some of the jobs, but those number of jobs, which is the C-suite kind of a jobs, are pretty less over here as compared to the other countries such as the US and some other countries which have very strong economies or the growing economies. So guys, the next thing that comes to my mind is your culture and being homesick. Well, as a family, when you move to Canada, you are having your extended family or your first family, who are your parents and some other members of your family who are very dear to you, who are still back in India or in your home country. So that is something which will make you homesick like crazy over here. That's point number one. Point number two is that Canada is actually very, very far from your home country if you're an Asian. In my case, since I am from India, it is about 12,000 kilometers. But these days it is not about kilometers anymore. it is about the hours that it takes to reach India. Well, that is so true. However, since I've lived in London for some time, London is about half the distance from Canada, and a 14-hour direct flight from Canada seems to be a lot when you compare it with a 7-hour direct flight from London. So, it's so relative. However, it is very, very far away, and sometimes it gets you in your mind. And the last thing about this is that you have your own kind of a festivals which nobody celebrates here. So just to give you an example, if you have Diwali and you cannot see a lot of lighting around, it obviously makes you feel a little sad, isn't it? So it is not that these people don't have their own festivals or they do not appreciate Diwali, but of course, since it is not their own festival, it will never be celebrated like the way they celebrate Christmas and Halloween. And contrary to a large belief that Punjabi community is the second largest community in Canada, it is actually the Chinese community, and Chinese have their own festivals, which is Chinese New Year, and that is something which is celebrated over here. So basically it is quite multicultural, and sometimes it might actually get you in your mind that you don't get to celebrate your Diwalis, Holis with that kind of a pomp and show, and of course your family is away. So the next point, which is talked about day and night everywhere, every time, is the weather. Well, Canadian weather is considered to be really harsh. Well, I am sitting right now in the month of January. I am in a Vancouver area, and this is the best possible area in terms of weather in Canada. What that basically means is that the temperature over here is pretty much like Shimla's temperature in India. So it is the best temperature. If you actually go to the other parts of Canada, it is pretty much frozen. So if you go to Toronto, the temperature right now is -10 or less, and the winters can be really, really harsh. And if you are not a winter person, then this place is going to get you, especially if you have a job which is about going outdoors and working outdoors. And snow has a different kind of an effect on you, and it can be demoralizing and depressing at times, because you see the sky, it is white, you see the tree, it is white, every damn thing is white. So that can be really depressing at times. Well, having said that, if you stay indoors, it actually isn't bad. In fact, it is quite better as compared to the winters back in India. The reason is that they have the internal heating system, and actually you can sit in your shorts while you are inside and it's snowing outside and it is quite gloomy. So it is a choice that you need to make. Okay, so the next point, or the ninth point, is basically about the distances. Canada is the second largest geography in the world. That basically means that if you're a travel buff, it is something which is great. However, let me just give you a perspective. I'm sitting right now in the Vancouver area, and the biggest city which is near Vancouver is Alberta, which is about 1,000 kilometers plus away. Well, by road if you go, it takes about 14 hours, and by air, of course, it is going to take about 3 to 4 hours, depending on the aircraft that you are traveling on. So why I am telling you about this point? Well, in Canada, both the partners have to work if you have to have a decent lifestyle, or the kind of lifestyle that you were living in your home country. What that basically means is that if one of the partner actually gets a job in this place and the other partner gets a job in some other place, he will actually either drop that or will have to actually go and stay separately, which is obviously a very, very difficult thing to do. So most of the time, one person has to compromise on the job, and you probably have to work in a job of probably not your own choice. Well, these are extreme circumstances. You might actually both get a job in their own field, but then we are talking about the reasons why you should not move to Canada, isn't it? Okay, so the last point is the cultural shock. Well, if you're coming from a place which is a little conservative, let me tell you, Canada is a very, very liberal country. Here you will have different cultures, different beliefs, all amalgamated with each other. Well, some people might think it is a great thing. Personally, it is quite okay for me. However, if you come with a mindset of a conservative thought process, well, it might be a little difficult for you. So these were some of the points that actually I researched on and that came to my mind. So in case you like this video, do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.